Let's finish Walter Brown and the Magician's Hat. We're on chapter 9, Another Birthday Surprise. This is on page 72, and the title of this chapter is Another Birthday Surprise. Walter has had many surprises on his birthday. He got a magic hat, a magic wand, his cat started talking, the fire fiend and the crystal warrior broke out of the TV. So many surprises. But he has another birthday surprise. What's it going to be? Page 72. A large plate of peanut butter and jam sandwiches sat in the middle of the table. Thanks, Dad, said Walter as everyone sat down. These look yummy. So he's having his lunch before his birthday party. In Walter's opinion, his dad made the best peanut butter and jam sandwiches, and he'd made a special request for them today. Happy birthday, Walter, said his dad. Go easy, though. You've got your party food later. Happy birthday, bigger little brother, said Hannah with a wide grin. You'll never catch up to me. Never catch me up. Means he'll never be as old as his older sister. Happy birthday, said his mom, passing the plate around. Everyone reached for a sandwich, and Walter rolled his eyes as the delicious mix of soft bread, peanut butter, and jam oozed and melted in his mouth with his first bite. Ugh, that's disgusting, said Hannah through a muffled chew. Her head was bowed as she stared into her lap. What is, said her mom. I thought you liked peanut butter. Hannah lifted up Vikings, everything you ever wanted to know, with a cheeky grin. Hannah, I've told you no books at the table, said Mrs. Brown. So what's disgusting was something in her book about Vikings. I think they gave this the wrong title, said Hannah. It should be Vikings, everything you don't want to know. Ha ha, Hannah the Viking hater, said Walter, and bit with relish into his second sandwich. By the way, Walter, have you met the twins up the road yet? Said his dad. No. Why? Walter's heart skipped a beat. No reason. Was just wondering when we passed their house earlier. Their parents were throwing out a huge TV with a smashed screen, said Walter's mom, reaching for the water jug. It looked brand new. I wonder if it fell off the wall. Not the one Walter and Todd were spying on the other week, said Hannah, laughing. No, we didn't, said Walter in a high voice. He continued chewing, but all of a sudden his sandwich had no taste. His heart sank and his cheeks began to burn as he stared down at his plate, because he knows what happened to that TV, right? It was his own stupid fault that the twins' brand new TV was smashed. They were bound to get the blame, and he'd never be able to look them in the eye, no matter what Sixth Sense had promised. So much for making new friends. His stomach began to ache, and he suddenly wished it wasn't his birthday at all. At that moment, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. I'll get it, said Hannah, jumping up. More birthday presents, I bet, Walter. But he didn't look up. He didn't want any more presents. Voices filled the hallway. Sixpence, you naughty girl, Walter heard Hannah saying. She belongs to my brother. Hannah marched into the kitchen with 6 cents in her arms. You can see the picture of her carrying 6 cents. Harry, George, and Thomas Braithwaite followed right behind. They were in his house. Walter's eyes jumped wide as he gulped on his mouthful of sandwich. That's a surprise. That's a surprise. This is Harry, George, and Thomas, said Hannah. Hi, boys. Nice to meet you, said Walter's mom. His dad got up and shook their hands. Hi, they said. This is my brother, Walter. He owns 6 pence, said Hannah, pointing. Oh, and it's his birthday today, by the way. So all the boys here, the Braithwaite boys, are in the kitchen, Walter's kitchen. Hi, Walter. Happy birthday, said Harry quickly. Many happy returns, said George with a wide smile. Thomas seemed to be hiding behind them. Hi there, said Walter. He swallowed hard. wishing he could think of something cool to say, but his mind had blanked. We're really sorry, said George, but our little brother loves your cat so much, he took her in. We found him playing with her in his bedroom. Do you think maybe that was Sixth Sense's plan? We let her out, but she kept coming back, said Harry. So we figured we'd better find out where she lives and bring her home. Actually, we were pleased she lives here. We've been planning to come and say hi since we moved in, said George. It's quite hard meeting new friends in the holidays, so when they don't have school. Walter found himself smiling inside. Thomas, who'd been hiding between Harry's legs, poked his head out and grinned, then bent down to stroke Sixth Sense as Hannah placed her on the kitchen floor. That's so kind of you boys, said Mrs. Brown. No bother at all, said George. She kind of saved the day after our TV broke this morning. Thomas was really fed up, so I think she took his mind off of it. Fed up means upset. He's found moving house a bit confusing. We saw the TV earlier. It certainly looked very broken, said Mrs. Brown. I hope no one was hurt. Did it fall? Walter felt his cheeks flush. He took an deep inward breath. It blew up, said Harry quickly, then glanced at his twin. George started to blush. Yes, it did, kind of. Boom, shouted Thomas, suddenly jumping up. Then all the monsters came out, said Hannah. And did you fight them? She thinks he's just imagining this, using his imagination. Walter continued holding his breath. Thomas shook his head. They escaped through the window. Tom sometimes thinks the games are for real, said George, ruffling his little brother's hair, staring awkwardly at the space between Walter and Mrs. Brown. Dad said it must have been a fault inside the telly because of the way the glass blew outwards. The shop said we can change it. Mom thought we'd done it to start with, said Harry, rolling his eyes. Walter breathed out as a wave of relief washed over him. That happened to a friend's cousin once, he said in his best casual voice. He crossed his fingers under the table to make up for his white lie. So Walter's lying again. Good to hear no one was hurt, said Mrs. Brown. No, just a bit of glass in our socks, said Harry, grinning. Well, we better go. It was nice to meet you, said George, and they turned to leave. As they turned to leave, he spotted Walter's Northern Lights book on the side. Hey, cool book. I love astronomy. Is that yours, Walter? Yep, said Walter, beaming. My best friend Todd gave it to me for my birthday. He hesitated, but only for a moment. Actually, I'm having a football party later. Do y'all want to come? He glanced at his parents, who smiled and nodded. It's at 3:30 over at the sports center. Awesome, said George and Harry together. Thomas doesn't like playing, said George, as he watched his little brother follow Sixth Sense into the hall, but he enjoys watching. And I like birthday cake, called Thomas. And you've got good hearing, Hannah called back with a laugh. Well, that's great, said Walter's mom, reaching for a pen and a piece of paper. Here's our number. If you ask your mom or dad to call us, we'll confirm the details with them. Cool, said Harry. He waved a piece of paper in the air. Thanks, Walter. See you later. Great, said Walter, smiling. See you later, said George. I'll see you out, said Walter's dad. Bye-bye, Sixpence, they heard Thomas saying out in the hallway. As the front door slammed, Hannah started frowning and scratching under her chin. What's up, Hannah? Said Mr. Brown as he walked back into the kitchen. She frowned some more. Just something about Thomas's escaping monster story seemed familiar. Must have been a TV program I saw. I think I saw that one too, said Walter quickly. I think we saw it together. He smiled and double-crossed his fingers under the table. Yeah, I guess, said Hannah, pouring herself a glass of water. So he lied again. Walter cleared his throat, uncrossed his fingers, and reached for his third sandwich. He took a huge bite. Great-grandpa Horace was right. 10 was a magical age, and in more ways than one. This was turning out to be a great birthday after all. And who knew what adventures lay ahead? Well, apart from 6 cents, he supposed. 6 cents knows the future. 6 cents knows the future. At the moment, a tall, fluffy black tail paraded into the kitchen. 6 cents paused for a few licks of water from her bowl and stepped into her basket. Walter looked across with a grin and winked at her. 6 cents, appearing not to notice, delivered a cavernous yawn, then curled up onto her side and fell into a deep, satisfied sleep. The end for now. So that's the end of Walter Brown. So who knows what kind of adventures Walter Brown and 6 cents can have in the future. But here is 6 cents. She's taking a nap because she had a busy day and cats like to sleep. I hope you enjoyed our story.